So I've been telling you how I've been worried about this ditch for this upcoming rain event that we've got. Well, I mean, it's raining, what, for 2 days now, just off and on, sprinkles mostly. And so I was worried about this ditch. I'm always worried about this ditch. It fills up with leaves, and it's not just my ditch. You know, it goes up into the other owner's property. So I spent all winter trying to rake this out. Well, a few days ago, I tried to take the mower and blow them out with the mower, but that didn't work. So I raked out what I could in our yard. You can see I got a lot of the leaves taken care of here, but when you get up into the other property, there's still quite a few leaves and it's overgrown. This morning that this was all washed down pretty heavily, and that only happens when we have a real hard rain. So then I come to the other side of the drive, and it did. You can just see it just kind of explodes out from under the driveway and just kind of blows itself out. Huge clumps. So we must have had a significant amount of rain yesterday, or last night I should say, and I didn't know about it. It doesn't seem like it's that bad. Now, we went grocery shopping, just kind of let you know how it is to live off grid. We went grocery shopping yesterday. It was cloudy. And that's a problem for us because the freezer runs. You know, we got the thawed out meat that we got to freeze up, and it takes a good couple days for that to freeze up. I think we bought 15 pounds of hamburger that wasn't frozen. Everything else we bought was frozen because we knew it was going to be cloudy. But it ran all night and still running now. So what I did is, the freezer takes 10 amps of electric from the system. Now the freezer is like 1 amp. I want to be clear on that, but you're converting DC, 12 volt DC, or inverting, to AC. So it takes 10 amps from the batteries. I can monitor that better than I can monitor what's up here. So what I did was I started the generator and I put the battery charger on 10 amps. And I just let the generator run all night. It didn't charge the batteries at all. It just kept up with the freezer. So I think that's what I'll do again tonight, is just kind of let it run. And it ran all, like I said, all night. I got up at 4:30, came down here, it was still running. I probably started at 7. So came down here, it was still running. Went back up to the house and it finally died this morning. So what I'm going to do down here is go down to the ditch. That'll give us a better idea of how much rain we got last night, because yesterday it was empty. But if there's water in it, it typically means we've got a good amount of rain. Now, in a short period of time, I should say. Now I know we got 3 inches total so far. Now tomorrow, or no, that's not right, today, it's supposed to be a gully washer, 6 inches in an hour. Yeah, I'm not seeing a huge amount of water. So what that kind of tells me is one of those driveways got clogged up. The pipe underneath the driveway got clogged up the hill, and it finally blew out and it rushed a bunch of water down. Now what I didn't show you, I should have showed you, is the well did not get any water to it, so it didn't overflow our ditch. So we're looking okay here. You know, I think about this property a lot. You know, we only use about half of it, and the other half is all wooded, and we hardly are ever down here. And I always think, you know, it feels like such a waste, but it's not. I enjoy being down here when I do come down here. You know, maybe I'll just take the ride more for a ride, go around, just maybe I'll walk. I don't know, it's nice to have. It's like a park. You know, we traveled all over the country going from national forest to national forest, and we would go on walks through the forest and the paths. And we have one right here. I really like it. So I think I solved the problem with, or my fear of, the gully washer this year. The well has always been an issue for me. Of course, this past year I kind of learned something about our aquifers, underground water. that I didn't understand until last year. Somebody stopped and said, oh yeah, everybody's wells like that, is it appears dirty. When we have heavy rain for a long time, and this last spring was terrible. It rained like every other day, and it was a flooding event every time. And the well was dirty, and I couldn't get it to clean up. Usually what I would do is flush it out for 3 times, completely empty the well, let it fill back up, but that wasn't working. So what I learned was all the bedrock, water gets down into the bedrock and it drains down into the aquifers, and it causes it to look cloudy, maybe is the best way to put it, but it's not dirty, it's just minerals, I guess. So when you filter it out with the Berkey doesn't filter it out, because Berkey keeps or allows minerals to go through, because your body needs minerals. At least that's what Berkey says. So it's still kind of cloudy, and the Berkey wouldn't get clogged up, so the water is clean. It just looks dirty. So I did a lot of research on water last spring, how water companies do things. And water could be crystal clear, and the consumer will say that's good water, and it's contaminated. But water could be hazy, for lack of a better word, and be completely safe to drink. No chemicals added, it's completely safe, no bacteria, and they'll say it's dirty, and they won't drink it. People go by visual inspection of water. Well, as soon as I learned that, I realized it was a losing battle. There was no reason for me to continuously fight the dirty looking water. It's not dirty. The Berkey said it wasn't dirty. So that told me something. So I guess I could show you this. So usually if water rushes down to the well, you'll see all the leaves taken out. You'll see gravel down here from the driveway. Gravel goes all the way down to the chicken coop, and water will come over this into the French drain. You'll see that's wet. Well, it's not this time. So the well, or I should say the ditch, did its job this time. It didn't clog up, even though it appeared like it did. So we might be able to get through this rain event without getting dirty water, dirty looking water, hazy water. So I know some people may be curious about our chickens. Earlier this year I told you that we bought some chickens this last spring from a local farmer, and they had Merrick's disease. So it spread to our flock, and you'll lose at least half of the chickens that you got. Not the adults, but the chicks that we bought. We lost half of those from the Merrick's disease. I think the rooster got sick. There was something wrong with the rooster. And then we had a dog attack, and he got a hold of the bigger chickens. So I think we're down to 8 or 9 chickens now. It's been a pretty tough year for chickens. And we went back and forth, and I said this in that video, what we were going to do. And in order to recover from this, we would have to completely start over. We'd have to burn our current shelter for them, the chicken coop, the chicken run, the whole thing, get rid of it, and start in a complete new location, all new fencing, all new chicken coops, because the Merrick's disease, the next batch would get. Of course, you can get them vaccinated, but then at what point does it not become cost effective to have chickens? I just don't see it that way. So I don't think I'm going to care for these chickens through the winter. They're not producing any eggs. We don't have enough chickens to get any eggs. We may get 1 egg every other day now because it's winter time. You know, they went through their molt, and the baby chickens, the ones we have left, are not producing any. So I would imagine that the Merrick's disease destroyed their reproductive systems. So it just doesn't make sense to keep hanging on to them and feeding them when they're not giving us anything in return. So I don't think I'm going to get them through the winter. So I think I'll butcher them here in the next few weeks probably, so we can stop feeding them. I know it's disappointing. It's disappointing to us, but people are going to ask us, since we're on a carnivorous diet, what are you going to do for eggs? Because we do eat a lot of eggs. And really what we've been doing is buying that cheap bacon at Save-A-Lot. And we eat bacon for breakfast. I mean, who can beat bacon? Oh! I've really enjoyed the bacon breakfasts. They've been pretty good. So, yeah, I'm just going to give up on the chicken idea. Now, I know somebody's going to say, but what if some SHTF were to happen? You won't have anything to eat. I don't live off grid for SHTF. I have said this a gazillion times, although I think I'm better prepared than most preppers are. I'm not a prepper. That's not why we did it. But you live off grid, that's why you got to do it. You know, and that's just not what we did it for. We did it because we wanted to relax and enjoy life, not be stressed. Yeah, just the other day somebody said, you don't live off grid because you work on lawnmowers. Well, I'm on YouTube, so you know, people's definition of off grid is just mind-boggling. I mean, I get it. There was movies, you know, he went off the grid, can't find him. That's not what I'm doing. I'm doing it to get off the electric grid, get off the water, take care of myself. You know, the electric grid is not that reliable anyway, so it's nice that I have electric when nobody else does. So it's not the same. I mean, I don't understand this. I can't work on lawnmowers because I live off grid. Well, how do you make money? Well, you're supposed to be completely self-reliant, and that is completely impossible. You wouldn't have enough hours in a day, even if you had the knowledge. You wouldn't have enough hours in a day to be completely self-reliant. You just couldn't do it. Trying to maintain all your food sources and your electric and your water, trying to keep up with everything, you would be more stressed than working on a lawnmower here or there. My definition off grid just isn't the same as a lot of people. Yeah, there was this troll, he's passed away, but there was this troll YouTube channel that said I didn't live off grid. The definition of these people is you got to live on the moon. Oh, you live too close to the people, you live too close to the road. Well, what are you supposed to do? Take a mule? I mean, your options are the northern parts of Russia, maybe somewhere in Africa, maybe somewhere in Canada, and maybe somewhere in Alaska is where these people would say off grid is. But you're just, and for what? So you can get away from political prosecution? No, they're still going to come after you. I don't want to pay taxes. Well, you're going to pay taxes. You're going to pay them. So you can tell me all you want how great you are, but first of all, you're online, so that means you're not off grid, and you have no idea what it's like. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video where it's working on something. So if I can inspire you, just to have an off day so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.